I'm an Australian citizen. I'm 63 years old. I've been in Australia all my life. I've never left even for a holiday. I've participated in public service in my country. I've been elected member of local government, volunteered in a number of organisations. I used to work in an office. I used to work in a factory. I've delivered bread to support my children. I taught myself how to build and repair computers in the 1980s. I opened up a shop for a successful business for a number of years, a retail business. I've participated actively in my community, been an honest person, never been in trouble with the police, never done anything illegal, immoral or otherwise wrong. I've done everything that you could possibly do to be a good citizen of your country. And in exchange for that, when I reported child sex crimes to the police involving Freemasons and government public officers, including their fellow police, they decided to turn against me. They identified me as a person murdered in a crime when I wasn't even involved in any part of the crime. They associated themselves with causing my surgical rape in the 1990s when I was pregnant with my last child, and when I was elected member of local government. I was kidnapped during one of the meetings from the Camden Chamber of Commerce and surgically raped. They told me they were operating on my brain, and when I was dropped back off at the meeting, I couldn't speak and I had an open wound on the top of my head. So obviously there was some sort of brain injury for the fact that I couldn't speak. I woke up during another surgery. I was kidnapped from the back of council in my vehicle. I woke up during another surgery when they were shoving something into my nose. I had holes in my chin where they've put something in there, bloody holes, and now it sparks. Holes in my side of my lips where they've put tubes in my lips and they spark. You can feel that cable over my nose. You can see it in CT scan, that sparks. You can see in MRI scan the implant as big as my eyeball that was inserted in there about 1998 also. That causes sparks and vibrations across my whole face, down the back of my neck where there's obviously some sort of implant that's setting off electrical sparks at the top of my shoulders. I've got implants in my arms, both legs, in my body. There's absolutely nowhere that's not touched with implants. You can see a lot of the cables from the outside in my hands and arms and legs. You can see where the muscles have grown from my immune system coating, whatever it is that's inside me. You can see the damage on the outside to my skin where it's been swelling inside. You can see this microwave burn scars on my skin. So you've got evidence on the outside, evidence on the inside through radiology. Yet the government have turned against me and said, well, if you believe that you've got implants, that means you're a mental health patient, you're a schizophrenic, you're delusional, and because you have no evidence to say that you have these implants, despite the fact that there's a plethora of evidence to prove I've been subjected to illegal practices by Freemasons who wanted to protect the identity of their fellow Freemasons who had been participating in child sex crimes in the 1960s, 70s and 80s. And that's what's led up to me being surgically raped in the 1990s. My Australian government in 2019 would rather see me dead than admit that I was surgically raped because of pedophilia in Australian government. This is the battle that I'm facing. The number of sadistic politicians and public officers and medical personnel in capital cities of Australia, in Adelaide and Sydney at least, I can't say all of them, but I certainly know those two capitals, would rather just call me or label me as a mental health patient rather than admit that you can see the foreign items in MRI that are published on my website. Rather than admit that you can see all the evidence, there's a plethora of evidence to prove that I've been surgically raped or medically battered, to make it nicely. But if you can call anything like that nice. But I've gone to the police, they've ignored me. I've gone to the ministers, they've ignored me. I've gone to the Prime Minister, they've ignored me. Number of Prime Ministers. I've gone to a number of premiers, they've ignored me. I've gone to the directors of public prosecution, state and federal, they've ignored me. Basically, I went to the Supreme Court in Adelaide with evidence, and they lied about the evidence that I presented and throughout my statement of claim. So despite the myriad of laws that are supposed to protect Australians, I've been abandoned in my own country. Never been out of this country, so all the things that have gone wrong have to be blamed on Australia, but they've abandoned me. They've basically set me adrift and not giving me any health care. Even the last couple of doctors I've gone to have refused to treat me for emphysema. So basically they want to kill me. They don't want me to live. They don't want me to live to tell the story. They don't want a living witness to the crimes that have occurred in government in Australia involving human trafficking, because obviously it's human trafficking if they're selling me off for medical experiments, and child sex crimes. This is what's happening in 2019 in Australian government.